In the last session, we talked a bit about attitudinal foundations, in particular, letting be and allowing. And I'd like to look a little bit more at the flavor of those and how we can bring them to how we deal with difficulties. Life can be difficult, and we can all experience difficulties in our life and disappointments. And often we can deal with them in an automatic way. We don't want to feel like that in that particular moment. So we end up by pushing away or by distracting ourselves or denying that the difficulty or the disappointment isn't there. And often what can happen is that we go further and further away from the actual difficulty rather than dealing with it. Often when we think we are dealing with the difficulty, we are dealing with it through thinking, and we fall into automatic habits and thinking patterns. We start to ruminate, and we're actually moving further and further away from the difficulty, from the problem. For example, we might say this always happens. It happened last week, and actually it happened last year, and then this happened, or if this is going to happen, it's going to affect this, and who knows what so-and-so is going to say. So we're moving further away from the actual problem. We're not really dealing with it, and we are compounding the problem as well, because we don't want to feel like that in that particular moment, and we can end up feeling worse. So if we bring this different attitudinal foundation to it, of letting be and allowing and just dealing with things in a mindful way, it can help us to respond differently to the situation. Often when we seem to be addressing the problem, we move further and further away from it. Because we think about it, we ruminate, we make up stories, we start predicting what's going to happen. We make judgments about ourselves. I don't want to feel like this. I want it to be different. And in that way, we sort of create more bad feelings. We end up sort of stuck in the situations. All we know is that we feel a certain way, and we don't want to feel that way. We want it to be different. Mindfulness offers us a different way of dealing with difficulty. By just allowing the problem to be there and by letting it be, we can actually start to deal with it. We can start to make choices in how we respond to something, rather than going back to the old habitual responses and thinking patterns. Let's listen to Rumi's poem, The Guest House, just to get a sense of the flavor of what we're talking about.